I'm sitting here on Monday morning. It's about, I don't know, 9 a.m. and we're putting together the show. And it's just reported that Adam Schefter reports that Joe Burrow is going to get the surgery on the turf toe. He's going to be out for 3 months. And I've seen this discourse kind of popping up online. And I have to say, I wholeheartedly agree that like we have to stop calling it turf toe. Like there has to be a name for it that's like, this hurts more than you can possibly humanly imagine. And imagine like your big toe getting half ripped off.
You know what it's like? The high ankle sprain. It's just like ankle sprain where people think that that's like a guy turning his ankle. Like you might turn your ankle if you don't see a curb. You know what I mean?
It's essentially like a broken lower leg. Yeah.
it's like some significant ligament damage to like everything below your knee, you know? So,
and we're all just like, why isn't he going to be out there in 3 weeks? My fantasy team needs help.
Right. And then you have the different grades of them too, which makes it even worse, right? Like, which is like, well, how come he had turf toe and he was only out for 3 weeks and this guy's out for 3 months, you know? So I'm with you on that. I'll back you on that cause without question. We come up with a list of them. I'm sure there are other ones we're not thinking of.
Yeah. I mean, like Liz Frank, it just sounds like, your single aunt, you know, that's just like, that comes to parties. It's like, oh, that's my aunt.
That's
Liz
a bad
Frank.
one too. Yeah.
And that is like incredibly,
I would argue like
painful.
plantar fasciitis sounds bad, right? Like, don't you think
plantar fasciitis sounds like medically
it sounds
horrifying.
bad.
Yeah. It sounds like you have like a bacteria.
There's got to be like something with your arm too that sounds like you hit your funny bone, but it's actually like broken in 3 different places.
Yeah, like, oh, he left the game with a stinger, and it's like, my whole body went numb. It was actually a state of temporary paralysis. But sure, let's just call it a silly stinger. So this obscures the fact that like, okay, so Cincinnati beats the Jacksonville Jaguars 31-27. And we're going to start with that game in our weekend recap because it's of the most consequence. Jake Browning comes in and goes 21-32 for 241, 2 touchdowns, but also 3 picks, which was kind of unlike him when the last time he came in for spot duty. He was incredibly accurate. He was a low turnover guy, but you know, can he hold serve now for 3 months? In order to get Joe Burrow back on the field in December with a chance to get the Bengals back into the playoffs? I don't know. That's a mighty, mighty big ask, Albert.
All right. So like, let's just say you target December 14th. That's week 15 against the Ravens for his return. You already have 2 wins in the bank. Okay. So you're 2-0. Okay. So between now and week 15, I think we're talking about that's 11 games, right?
Okay.
Or no, would it be? Yeah, it would be 11 games because you have the bye in there. All right. So can you go, let's say 5-6, which would put you at 7-6 in week 15?
Okay.
Can you go 5-6 at Vikings?
Yeah, you could win that game. Sure.
1. At Broncos.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, that's 2. Lions, week 5.
I mean, I'm not saying that they can't, but I'm saying it's going to be hard.
We'll live here. Yeah. Okay, so we won't count that one. At Packers, week 6. Tough, right?
Tough. I don't know.
Steelers in week 7.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Jets in week 8. Yes.
Sure.
So that's 4. We're already up to 4.
After week 2, we're like, yep. Okay.
Bears in week 9.
Yeah.
Now you're at 5, so you're there now, right? And we're only in week 9.
Dang.
Bye in week 10. At Steelers in week 11. Let's just not give that to them because let's just say they split with the Steelers. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Patriots week 12. Yes.
Sure.
6. At Ravens in week 13. That's tough. I'm not going to give that to them. At Bills in week 14. So if we don't give them those 2, now we're at 6-5 over that 11 game stretch. And they're 8-5. So I think if you're the Bengals, and that's a very optimistic. I mean, like,
sure.
Let's just say we're being very optimistic.
There's going to be some games.
Right.
Yeah, and there's no doubt.
And I think one thing people discount sometimes is just because you look good with a backup quarterback over a couple of weeks isn't the same thing as being able to pull it off over 3 months because they're going to get tape on what you're doing. It's going to be a little bit harder to game it up and, you know, do it with smoke and mirrors over a longer period of time. That said, I don't know, man. Like I think they could kind of make. I kind of think they could make it. You know. And if Joe and I think 3 months is, from everything I understand, kind of optimistic. But it's September 15th right now. 3 months is December 14th. That Ravens game, he's coming back. If they're 8-5, 7-6, you know what I mean? Like I think and then you look at the end of their schedule, and they do have the Ravens in week 15. But then after that, Connor, at Dolphins, Cardinals, Browns.
Help is on the way.
I don't think it's over.
Shedeur Sanders at the end of the season.
I don't think it's over. Do you?
No. And I said that I
think they've been there before does help. Like you don't wish this upon anybody. Joe Burrow is a great dude on top of being a great player. And I feel awful for him because I know how important this is to him. You've been around him too. I like this.
Sure.
Like I've seen some people say Andrew Luck with him. And I think it's fair to bring up that name based on how much he's been banged up and how frustrating it's got to be for him. But I don't think Joe would be the one who would walk away ever. I think Joe would ask for a trade if he became very frustrated before he would walk away. But I mean, looking at like the schedule, could he put himself in a position? Could the Bengals manage this? Could Zach Taylor and Dan Pitcher manage this? Could Al Golden do a good enough job? Because the defense has shown some good signs. Could all this kind of coalesce where you could be a 500 team for the next 3 months? And then, you've got a chance based on the schedule to really kind of hit the ground running as Joe comes back and then be a dangerous team in the playoffs. It's not impossible.
This, who really, and I'm not going to say benefited because that's not the right word, but what team kind of skates by due to the gravity of this news is a Jaguars team that blew this game and had two very loud and kind of noteworthy things taking place in this one. Now, I'm not an alarmist.
We're talking about the Trevor thing?
Well, there's the Trevor thing. For those of you guys who didn't see that, Liam Cohen's on the sideline banging his chest with his hand saying, you have to hit him here with the pass. And then Trevor Lawrence just waves him off like, all right, whatever, man, and goes back to the game. And then there was also Brian Thomas running a route over the middle, and he just stops dead in his tracks, and because he's about to get hit. And I don't blame him. I would do the same thing, but I'm also not an NFL wide receiver. And so just lets the ball skid by. And after the game, Liam Cohen's like trying to bite his tongue a little bit and trying not to say that, he should probably, run into the fire here and catch the ball.
Right.
So
I'm
not saying that these are bubbling things. I'm just saying that you beat the Panthers in week 1 and then you lose to Jake Browning in week 2. And like the Travis Hunter thing, like he got a kind of a pretty costly DPI in this game and you're trying to work him in. I just think it's a lot. And I think we knew that it was going to be a lot. And now it's a lot for a guy who's, again, first-time head coach, first-time offensive coordinator, first-time defensive coordinator, all this stuff, first-time GM. Like it's getting dark a little early right now for Jackson.
Well, and that was why as I wolfed down my breakfast. That was why I think like looking at it, it was easy to get over your skis in week 1. And like, I think I love Travis Hunter as a player, but this is where like some of my questions with trading for him came in. Is like that felt like the move of a team that feels like they're close, and a team that feels like, okay, like we're giving up a high first round pick in this move in this trade, but the first round pick we're going to give up next year isn't going to be very high. And I think that's where some of the questions with the Hunter move come is, were they in a position to be that team that was that can put it over the top that quickly? And I'm not sure that they are.
Do you think at all? I mean, again, Jake Browning is good. Jake Browning was good.
Yeah.
Do you look at Kirk Cousins? Is this even a question in your mind?
If you're the Bengals?
Point? Yeah.
I might. Yeah, I might. I mean, look, like here's the way I look at it, right? Joe's going to be 30 next year.
Is he really?
I think.
God.
I think I gotta look that up, but um, maybe I'm off on that.
29. He'll be 29 next Christmas. Yeah.
No, he'll be 30 next Christmas. He's gonna be 29 this Christmas.
Oh, 29. You're right. Yep.
Right. So he'll be 30 next Christmas. So like I remember like being around New England during the Brady years. One thing I sort of learned was every year that you have when you have a quarterback like that is precious, and you should treat it as such, right? So every year that you have the chance to take a quarterback like that into the playoffs has high value. So it's on you to maximize every chance that you have to take a quarterback like that into the playoffs. And in a case like this, I would say that applies in that there's great value in giving Joe Burrow a chance to get to the playoffs when he gets back. And so if you feel like Kirk Cousins gives you a significantly better chance to do that than Jake Browning does, then I think you owe it to yourself to do that. Now, here's the thing. It's going to take a significant financial investment to do it.
And the Falcons have been waiting for a moment like this.
Right.
They've been waiting for a moment like this.
Right. And I think on the surface, it makes all the sense in the world. Look, Zach Taylor, a lot of his background, of course, was with Sean McVay as an assistant. Sean McVay was one of Kirk Cousins' earliest coaches. So at least on paper, there's some crossover there in what the Bengals do. And it's a place that Kirk Cousins could come in and hit the ground running. Kirk Cousins would have to waive his no trade clause, which I've been told that once he got to camp, he wasn't going to do that for just anybody. But I can't imagine if you're Kirk Cousins, you wouldn't look at this situation and want to run to it, you know?
Hell yeah.
I mean, I think despite some of their issues on the offensive line, and I saw the Bengals getting killed for their investment on the offensive line. I don't think the investment on the offensive line has been that much of a problem. I mean, they have a big money left tackle. They have a first round pick playing right tackle. They've got, a center that they've paid, I think 2 or 3 times now. So I don't think it's investment. You can say that they messed up and invested in the wrong people, but I don't think you can say they haven't made an investment in that area. I think they have,
Yeah, that one was weird. The reaction to that.
It's not the Colts. Like the Colts, like with Andrew Luck, there was a serious case for they have not invested anywhere near enough in protecting Andrew Luck. I don't think that's the case with the Bengals.
Yeah, the Bengals are trying. I mean, yeah, they topped the league in free agency spend, I think 2 or 3 times since Zach Taylor's been there. You make everything work with Trey Hendrickson and T. Higgins, and you're doing everything you can to keep this team together, and you're just kind of cycling your investment over and over and over in that offensive line. I mean,
right.
At some point, what else do you want them to do? Before we move on, though,
but just to put a bow on the Cousins thing, this would be a significant short-term investment looking for a short-term gain. And Are you willing to do that? Because you get the $10 million that's guaranteed for next year. Could you work something out with him where maybe you do something with the guarantees for next year? So you won't be on the hook for those if he really wants the opportunity to come and play. This would be an interesting situation for Kirk Cousins. There's also no guarantee that Joe's going to be back as quickly as we're saying he's going to be back, right? If there's any sort of setback or anything else, maybe Kirk's the quarterback for a wild card playoff game,
Right.
I just think I think it's something you got to think about. Although I think having Jake Browning gives you a real chance too, I think Jake Browning's sort of in this category where he might be a better player than some starters. He might be the, 28th, 29th best quarterback in the league.
Our pal Jimmy Traina has a good point, as always, and everyone should follow Jimmy and listen to his podcast. Week 4, the Bengals are on Monday Night Football. Week 5, America's game against the Lions. Week 6, the Romo Nance game against the Packers. Week 7, Thursday Night Football on Amazon. So we're going to
get a lot of Jake Browning.
Get a lot of Jake Browning. Get to know him, fellas. Maybe that's part of the other reason you go out and you at least take a look. Just call the Falcons. just see what they say.
Yep.
The worst you can say is no. That's what
I mean, it becomes if they were to trade for Kirk Cousins, it would become an awfully compelling story, you know.
Be great.
And hey, if you're the Falcons, like you can roll over the cap savings to next year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then whatever you get in a pick, you get in a pick. Like I don't even think that would be the idea, you know. But yeah, I mean, I think the Bengals should look at it.